Good morning and welcome to all BSc first year students of Fishery Science, boys. During last few videos we have seen the important points and aspects of paper second type study Valiagua 2. Today we are teaching respiratory system of Valiagua 2. Respiratory system of Valiagua 2. Again, like that of the other animals, this fish is also respire similar to that of the other bony fishes. Other fishes, respiration is the important one of the activities which perform inside the gill chamber, inside the gills. This respiratory system of Valiagua 2, for our convenience, for our sake, this system, these are to be studied in three parts, in three sections. In first part, we have seen respiratory system. These are to be divided into three parts. One is the structure of gill. Second, mechanism of respiration, excurrent and incurrent. And third part, physiology of respiration. First we have seen the structure of gills. Friends, structure of gills. The structure of gill is to be as usual found in fishes or the aquatic animal. The respiratory organs of Valiagua 2, like other fishes, are the typical aquatic organs, and that typical aquatic organs are the gills. The gills arises as a paired pouches from the endoderm of pharynx. Gills arises from as a paired pouches from the endoderm of pharynx on the two sides of it. On both sides, left side and right side, these gills, these are to be formed. These gills, these are to be developed from the endoderm of pharynx at the time of embryonic development, at the time of embryonic condition. They communicate with the pharynx by internal branchial apertures. They communicate means that is gills communicate with the pharynx by internal branchial aperture and open to the outside by external branchial aperture. Internal, these are to be connected to the internal branchial aperture, and outside open by external branchial aperture. The respiratory water current enters through the mouth into the pharynx. Respiratory current, these are to be enter. Respiratory water, these are to be enter through the mouth into the pharynx. Pharynx then flows over the gills and then expelled to the outside. Means water, these are to be enter through mouth into the pharynx, then pharynx into the gill chamber, and in gill chamber actual exchange of gases, these are to be takes place, and then exchange water, these are to be expelled out through by a outside opening, through a opening. Expelled to the outside through the opercular slit or opercular opening. The dissolved oxygen of passing water current is absorbed by the richly vascular gill filaments, and the carbon dioxide diffuses out of them in water. That is, the gaseous exchange, these are to be takes place inside the branchial chamber, inside the gill chamber. Those dissolved oxygen which is to be present in water, that dissolved oxygen, these are to be absorbed by the gill filament, and those carbon dioxide which is to be present in blood, that carbon dioxide, these are to be diffuses into the water. Means the gaseous exchange, these are to be takes place. Dissolved oxygen, these are to be absorbed, and carbon dioxide, these are to be diffused out. This gaseous exchange, these are to be takes place. These are to be occur in the gill chamber. There are four pairs of gills. There are four pairs of gills, four on either side of the pharynx and four on the other sides of the region. The gill slits are the usual 5 in number. These gill slits, these gills are usually in 5 in numbers. These gills are to be usually as in 5 in numbers. See, this is the figure. That is figure lateral view of head showing gill and branchial chamber. Head and branchial chamber which is to be seen in this figure. See the figure. Mouth, these are to be open. In this mouth there is a presence of oral wall. This is the mouth which is to be indicated in blue arrow. Mouth, water, these are to be enter into this mouth. Then these are to be enter into this pharynx region, and then it is to be enter into these branchial chamber or the gill chamber. And in this gill chamber, these are the gill filaments. These are the gill filaments. This is the first gill. Then these are the gill rackers. These are the pointed gill rackers. These gill rackers, these are to be filtered. Those are the hard substances. Those are the hard material. These hard material, these are to be stopped to entering inside the gill filaments, inside the gills, and to save the gill filament from these hard particles. These are the gill filament, and these are the 1 gill, 2 gill, 3 gill. These are the 5 gills these are to present. But in all, in Vallagotu, 4 complete gill these are to present. Then how there is 5 gills? Because in first half part is to be connected, attached to the head, and in last gill filament, last part of the gill filament, these are to be absent. Means in all there is a 4 gills these are to present, complete 4 gills these are to be occur, these are to be found. And this gill chamber, what these are to be enter into the mouth, into the pharynx, then gill chamber, gill slit, there gaseous section these are to be takes place, and then after gaseous section, this water these are to be expelled outside by a branchial chamber or the gill chamber, which is to be shown, which is to be found in this figure. See this figure, that is the gill structure. Yes. Each gill consists of 2 rows of slender processes. Each gill consists of 2 rows of slender processes, a bony branchial arch, and the branchial filaments or gill filaments. Each gill consists of 2 rows of slender processes, a bony branchial arch, and the branchial filaments or gill filament. Each branchial arch bears 2 gill filaments. Each branchial arch bears 2 gill filaments consisting of 2 hemibranchs or 1 hollow branch. These gills these are to present. These gills these are to be found. These gills these are to be. Each branchial arch bears 2 gill filaments consisting of 2 hemibranchs of 1 hollow branch. See the, again we have seen the figure. Yes, single gill arch with hollow branch of Vallagotu. This is single hemibranch. This is red color, single hemibranch. One side, only one side. This is called as hemibranch. And when another is the pink color, this is another hemibranch. When these 2 hemibranch these are to be present, then these are to be forms a complete gill. It is called as a 1 hollow branch. Hollow means complete. Hemi means half. Half red colored. This is red colored, and this is the pink color. Yes, this is a half hemibranch. This is a half. That is the hemibranch. And complete gill is called as the hollow branch. It is called as hollow branch gill. These are to present. These are to go. The hemibranchs on the posterior surface of the first gill slits. First gill slit, that is the hemibranchs on the posterior surface of the first gill slits, and posterior surface of the last gill slits are lost in anterior first part, and in last gill slits. Last means anterior first and last posterior. These 2 parts these are to be lost. These are to be not present. Hence only 4 gills are present. Only 4 gills these are to present. What is the important structure? The hemibranchs on the posterior surface, hemibranchs on the posterior surface of the first gill and posterior surface of the last gill, means posterior part of the first gill and posterior part of the last gill, these are to be lost, absent, hence only 4 gills are present. The 4 branchial arches bearing the gills extend from near the artery region of the skull just behind to the eye to the base of the pharynx, where these 4 branchial arches bearing the gills extend from near the auditory region, near the ear region of the skull, just behind the eye to the base of the pharynx. The branchial arches bearing the gills, and these gills are enclosed in a chamber called the gill chamber. Gills, these are to be enclosed by a chamber. It is called as the gill chamber, or it is also called as branchial chamber. Gill chamber is also called as branchial chamber, where 4 gills these are to be present, 4 gills these are to be covered. The branchial chamber or gill chamber is covered by a bony covering. Branchial chamber or gill chamber is covered by a bony covering, and that bony covering is called as operculum, or it is called as gill cover. Bony covering is called as either operculum or it is either called as the gill cover, and this gill cover, branchial chamber, is covered by a bony covering, bony flap. That bony covering, bony flap is called as the operculum or gill cover. The operculum is formed of a number of bones. The operculum is formed of a number of bones. The branchial chamber opens to the outside by a large crescentric opercle opening. The branchial chamber opens to the outside by a large crescentric opercular opening, from which waters expelled or forced outside. The branchial chamber or the gill chamber, these are to be opens to the outside by a crescentric opercular opening, and from this crescentric opercular opening, water these are to be expelled out, water these are to be leave outside from the branchial chamber or the gill chamber. Each gill consists of a bony branchial arch. Each gill consists of a bony branchial arch and fleshy branchial filaments. Each gill consists of a bony branchial arch and a fleshy branchial filaments. These are to present in each gill. The gill arch with its gill lamellae. The gill arch with its gill lamellae has the shape of the letter C. What is the shape of gill arch? The gill arch with its gill lamellae has the shape of letter C on the outer convex surface of which gill filaments are born. On this C letter, on which gill arch, gill filament these are to be formed, gill filament these are to be developed. On the gill arch, gill filament these are to be formed, these are to be developed. The hemibranchs on the posterior surface of the first gill slits. The hemibranch on the posterior surface of the first gill slits and posterior surface of the last gill slits are lost, and only 4 gills are left. The 4 branchial arches bearing the gills extend from near the auditory region to the skull, just behind to the eye, to the base of the pharynx, near the basihyal bones. Near the basihyal bones, the branchial arches bearing the gills are enclosed. The branchial arches bearing the gills are enclosed in a chamber called the branchial chamber. The branchial chamber is covered by a bony covering called as the operculum. The operculum is formed of a number of bones. Operculum is formed of a number of bones as described earlier in the endoskeleton. These operculum, these are to be formed, these are to be developed by number of bones, and these different bones, these are to present, these are to be found in the endoskeleton, which is to be seen. The branchial chamber opens to the outside by a large crescentric opercular opening. The branchial chamber opens to the outside by a large crescentric opercular opening just just anterior to the pectoral fin on each side. It is through this common opening. It is through this common opening that the water expelled from the external branchial aperture is forced out. Means water these are to be expelled and water these are to be entered. That is in current and X current condition these are to be occur. These are to be seen. Means the operculum is formed of a number of bones. These bones these are to be developed for the endoskeleton, and this branchial chamber opens to the outside by a large crescentic opercular opening. This opercular opening is to be anterior to the just to the pectoral fin on each side. It is through this common opening the water is to be expelled, and this external branchial aperture is forced to the outside. In this branchial chamber or in this operculum, a opercular wall is present. Two walls these are to present. One wall is to be oral wall in mouth, and second is to be wall in the operculum. These two walls these are to be used for in current and X current at the time of water these are to be entering in the branchial chamber or in the mouth region, and these walls these are to be important, these are to be useful. See, this is the figure just we have seen earlier. This is the afferent blood vessels and this is the efferent blood vessel. Efferent blood vessels, it is to be collect pure blood. Afferent blood vessel these are to be supply the impure blood. Afferent blood vessel these are to be supply the impure blood, and efferent blood, this is the efferent blood vessels, and this is the afferent blood vessels. These two vessels, one is the supplying pure blood for purification, impure blood for purification, and second is the pure blood for circulation. This is the hemibranch, half part of the gill lamellae, and this is another hemibranch, and forms a complete hollow branch or a complete gill. In between these two, a partition which is to be present, and that partition is called as the interbranchial septum. This pink color is called as the interbranchial septum. In Valley, this interbranchial septum is to be short, thick, not long as compared to the, that is the hemibranch. Hemibranch is to be long, but this interbranchial septum these are to be short. Whereas these are the gill rackers. These are the gill racker. This is the gill arch. This is the gill arch. On this gill arch, these are the gill racker. These gill racker these are to be pointed and curved. These are to be pointed, hard and curved. And this gill racker these are to be act as a sieve-like structure. These are to be act as a sieve-like structure because they do not permit the hard materials or hard substances which to be entered into the branchial chamber or gill chamber, because when these hard substances these are to be entered inside the gill chamber or branchial chamber, that can damage these gill filament, that can damage the gill filament. That's why these gill racker these are to be act as a filtering, act as a filter condition. And gill arch these are to be hard, tough, C-type appearance. This gill arch is to be which type of letter? This gill arch is to be generally letter C, which is to be found, and on this gill arch, gill racker these are to be born, gill racker these are to be found. This is the interbranchial septum, and these are the gill lamellae, numerous gill lamellae these are to be present, and in this gill lamellae, actual gaseous exchange these are to be takes place, because in blood those are the carbon dioxide, this carbon dioxide these are to be diffused, and in water those are the dissolved oxygen, that dissolved oxygen these are to be absorbed by gill lamellae. Gill lamellae they can exchange the gaseous exchange, that is carbon dioxide these are to be leave outside in water, and dissolved oxygen these are to be absorbed in blood. Such exchange these are to be occur by these gill filaments or the gill lamellae, where that is a gaseous exchange these are to be takes place, and it is to be structure. A bony branchial arch formed from the epi, serrato and hypo. A bony branchial arch, this bony branchial arch is to be formed from the epi, serrato and the hypo. Branchial bones of the visceral skeleton, branchial bones of the visceral skeleton, and a fleshy portion of the branchial filaments, a fleshy portion of the branchial filaments borne on the bony arch. The respiratory organs of gill arch with its gill lamellae has the shape of the letter C on the outer convex surface of which gill filaments are borne. The bony arch bearing the gill racers on a pharyngeal side and reduce the gill septum with blood vessels and nerves from the gill head. Each branchial arch bears two gill filaments consisting the two hemibranchs or one hollow branch. On both sides of the gill septum, one hemibranch, and when this one hemibranch from one side, another hemibranch from another side, when these are to be combined and forms a single hollow branch, it is to be called as one hollow branch. Means these gill arch, these are to be letter C shaped, and on these gill arch, gill filament, these are to be borne, and these gill filament, these are to be on pharyngeal side, these are to be a number of gill filament, these are to be occur. But in these two hemibranchs, a small partition which is to be reduced, that small reduced partition is called as that is interbranchial septum, and this interbranchial septum, these are to be short, thick and reduced, and which is to be supply the blood vessels and nerves from the gill heads and the gill filaments, which is to present, which is occur with this. We have seen that is structure of the gills of Valea guatu. Means in Valea guatu, 4 gills are to be present. 4 gills are present. In all 5 gills, but posterior part of the first gill and posterior part of the last gill, half part, these are to be absent, these are to be lost, and hence forms only 4 complete gills. Hemi, half. There is in all 8 hemibranchs or 4 hollow branches, these are to be present, and on these gill filaments, they can take the gaseous section where respiration, these are to be takes place, where mechanism, these are to be occur. With this we have seen that is structure of gills in Valea guatu. In next part we have see the mechanism of respiration. Yes, thank you all of you.